The bells were ringing. The guests were smiling. And Emma Blake was about to marry the man she thought was her forever love. She stood before the mirror, her white gown glowing softly in the light. Everyone said she looked like an angel, and she truly felt like one. Her heart beat fast, but it wasn't fear. It was joy. Pure, beautiful joy. She took a deep breath and smiled at herself. After today, she whispered, nothing will ever hurt me again. But she was wrong. Very wrong. Just a few minutes before she was called to walk down the aisle, she decided to surprise her groom. She wanted to see his face, to tell him one last time that she loved him. So she tiptoed down the hotel hallway, careful not to let her heels make a sound. She held her bouquet tight, her fingers trembling with excitement. But when she reached Mark's door, she heard something that froze her blood. Laughter. Not the soft kind she knew, but a cruel, careless laugh. She'll be gone soon, Mark said. His voice was cold, almost cheerful. The medicine will finish her before the honeymoon even starts. Once she's dead, everything she owns will be ours. Emma's heart stopped. Her hands shook. The flowers dropped to the floor. Then she heard another voice, a woman's voice, soft and smooth. Don't worry, the woman said. I already added it to her drink. Emma's mind spun. She knew that voice. It was Lily, her bridesmaid. Her best friend. Her knees grew weak. Her throat felt dry. For a moment, she thought it was a dream. But the truth hit her harder than any nightmare ever could. Her fiancé and her best friend wanted her dead. Tears blurred her eyes as she turned and ran. Her gown swept across the tiles, her shoes clicking like warning drums. She ran to her father's hotel room, her breath breaking, her vision fading. She knocked once, twice, then stumbled into his arms. Dad, she gasped. They want to kill me. Those were her last words before everything went dark. The wedding that was meant to mark her new beginning had become the day she died. But what no one knew, not even the ones who plotted her death, was that Emma Blake's story was only just beginning. When Emma opened her eyes again, the world was white. White walls. White ceiling. White sheets. For a moment, she thought she was in heaven. Then she heard the steady beep, beep, beep beside her bed, and the smell of antiseptic filled her nose. She was in a hospital. Alive. Her lips trembled as she tried to speak. A soft voice answered, You're safe, Emma. You're in St. Clair's Hospital. She turned her head slowly. It was Dr. Harris, her family doctor since childhood. His face looked tired, and his eyes were filled with worry. You're lucky to be alive, he said quietly. The poison was strong, but you fought it. Emma blinked. Her heart pounded as memories came flooding back. Mark's voice, Lily's laughter, the betrayal, the pain. She wanted to scream. She wanted to tear the white sheets apart. But her voice was barely a whisper. They tried to kill me. Dr. Harris nodded sadly. Yes. But no one knows you survived. They all think you're gone. Emma's eyes widened. What do you mean? The news has already spread, he said. Everyone believes you died before the wedding. For a long moment, silence filled the room. Then Emma whispered, Don't tell anyone I'm alive. Dr. Harris looked confused. Emma, your family. Please, she begged. If they think I'm dead, they'll show their true faces. The doctor hesitated, then sighed. You're asking me to lie to everyone. Emma's voice was weak but steady. Not a lie, doctor, a plan. He studied her face for a long moment, then nodded slowly. All right, Emma. Tell me what you're thinking. And that night, under the dim hospital light, the two of them made a dangerous decision, one that could save her life or end it for real. Emma Blake would not return as a bride. She would return as a ghost. By morning, the news spread like wildfire. Emma Blake is dead. The headline was everywhere, on phones, on television, on every whisper that passed through town. People wept, people gossiped, and some, secretly smiled. Her mansion, once filled with laughter and music, now echoed with silence. The white flowers she had chosen for her wedding were now the same flowers that decorated her coffin. Inside the large sitting room, mourners filled every corner, friends, relatives, business partners, and those who came only to see what she left behind. Mark, her fiancé, wore a black suit. He looked perfect, like a man destroyed by grief. He pressed a handkerchief to his face, pretending to cry. Beside him stood Lily, in a black dress and dark glasses, her face lowered, hiding a wicked smile. No one suspected a thing. But upstairs, behind the curtains of the master bedroom, hidden cameras blinked red. Dr. Harris had placed them there, recording every movement, every whisper. And on the bed, covered by a white sheet, lay Emma, motionless, silent, alive. Her heart beat slowly, but her mind was sharp. She listened to the noise below and waited. Downstairs, the lawyer stood before the crowd. His voice was calm. As written in Miss Blake's will, he said, each person close to her will visit her coffin alone, over the next 10 days. Only then will her final wishes be revealed. Murmurs filled the room. Some looked nervous. Others curious. When the guests began to leave, Mark stayed behind. He walked to the coffin slowly, like a man mourning. But when the doors closed, his face changed. The tears vanished. His smile returned. Finally, he whispered, "She's gone." And from the shadows, Lily stepped forward. "We did it," she said softly. 10 more days, and the money's ours." Under the sheet upstairs, Emma's eyes burned with tears, not of sadness but of rage. She wanted to scream. She wanted to rise and face them. But she stayed still. Silent as death. Because the dead see more than the living ever will. The mansion grew quieter with each passing day. But inside its walls, secrets whispered louder than ever. Every morning, new visitors came to pay their respects. And every night, Emma watched them from the hidden cameras Dr. Harris had placed before her fake death. She saw things she had never seen before. Things she wished she could unsee. Her stepbrother Alex was the first to show his true face. The moment he thought no one was watching, he walked straight into her garage and ran his hands over her cars. "These will look good under my name," he said, grinning. He even called a dealer that same night to discuss selling one, before Emma's body was even cold. Her stepsister, Rose, was worse. She sneaked into Emma's walk-in closet, tried on her diamond necklace, and took selfies in front of the mirror. "Rest well, dear sister," she said mockingly. "I'll take care of your clothes." Downstairs, her father, the man who once told her, "Family is everything," sat with his new wife, whispering. "At least I won't have to beg her for money anymore," he said. His wife chuckled. "Now we can sell her company shares and move to London." Emma lay still in the hospital bed where she was being monitored in secret. Her heart ached with every word she heard through the camera's live feed. It wasn't just betrayal, it was revelation. These were the people she had loved. The people she had trusted. But not everyone in the house was greedy. That night, as the house grew dark, the maids entered to clean the sitting room. One of them, Noah, lingered near the coffin longer than the rest. He looked around carefully, then whispered, "I'm sorry, Emma. I knew they were planning something. I tried to warn you, but I was too afraid." Emma's breath caught. Her eyes filled with tears. Someone had tried to save her. Someone still cared. As he turned to leave, Noah's voice softened even more. "I loved you, Emma. I always did." The words echoed in her mind long after he left. For the first time since her death, her heart felt alive again. But in that same moment, a shadow moved across the hallway camera. It wasn't Noah. It wasn't the maids. Someone else was watching too. And they knew Emma Blake wasn't as dead as she seemed. Night fell heavy over the Blake mansion. The candles burned low, their flickering flames throwing strange shapes on the walls. Most of the mourners had gone. Only silence, and secrets, remained. Emma lay still in the hidden hospital room Dr. Harris had prepared, the heart monitor beeping softly beside her. Her eyes stayed open, glued to the small tablet showing the live camera feed. Everyone had left the living room. Or so she thought. Then, movement. A shadow passed across the screen, slow, careful, almost too quiet to notice. Emma's breath hitched. She adjusted the camera's angle. There, near her coffin, stood a man in a dark coat, his face half hidden. He wasn't part of the staff. He wasn't one of the guests. And yet, he moved like someone who knew the house too well. He touched the side of the coffin and whispered, "Still breathing, aren't you, Emma?" Her heart stopped. Who was he? How did he know? The man straightened, his tone calm and deep. I told them this plan was dangerous. But no one listens, do they? Emma's hand trembled. She pressed the talk button on her walkie-talkie, whispering to Dr. Harris. Someone's in the house, he knows. Dr. Harris's voice came through, low and tense. Stay silent. Don't move. I'm coming. But before he could reach her, the man leaned closer to the coffin. I don't want to hurt you, he murmured. But if you want to live, you must leave this place tonight. Then he turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving the door slightly open behind him. Emma's mind raced. Was he warning her, or setting a trap? Minutes later, Dr. Harris arrived, his face pale. I checked the security gate, he said. No one entered or left. Whoever he is, he's already inside. Emma looked at him, fear rising in her chest. Then he knows everything, she whispered. He knows I'm alive. From the camera screen, they watched as the lights in the mansion began to flicker, one by one. And in the last frame before darkness swallowed the room, the same shadow appeared again. But this time, it wasn't near the coffin. It was standing right behind the curtain, in the room where Emma was hiding. The night stretched long and heavy, like time itself had stopped breathing. Dr. Harris locked every door and window, his hands shaking slightly. I checked every corner, he said. No one's here now. But Emma knew better. She could still feel it, the strange, cold presence in the room. The curtains swayed gently, even though the fan was off. Somewhere deep inside her, something whispered, "You're not alone." Dr. Harris turned to her. "You need rest, Emma. Your body's still weak. I'll stay in the hallway." She nodded, pretending to agree, though fear made her chest tight. As the doctor left, the silence returned. Not peaceful silence, the kind that watches you. The clock ticked once, twice. Then the lights blinked. Emma sat up quickly, her heart racing. "Who's there?" she whispered. No answer. She reached for the bedside lamp, but before her fingers touched it, a shadow moved, slow, steady, crossing the wall. Emma froze. Her throat went dry. Then from the darkness, a voice spoke softly. "You shouldn't have trusted him." Her eyes widened. "Who are you?" The shadow stepped closer, and a dim light from outside revealed a face, pale, sharp, and strangely familiar. It was Daniel. Her late mother's former driver, the one her father claimed had died years ago in an accident. Emma gasped. "You're supposed to be dead." Daniel smiled faintly. "That's what your father wanted you to believe." Her heart pounded. "Why are you here?" He looked around, cautious. "Because you're in danger, Emma. The plan to kill you didn't start with Mark or Lily. It started long before that." "What do you mean?" she whispered. Daniel took a step closer. "Your mother didn't leave you. She was forced away. And your father." Before he could finish, the door burst open. Dr. Harris rushed in, holding a flashlight. "Emma, who are you talking to?" Emma pointed toward the shadow, but it was gone. Only the curtains moved gently in the breeze. She stared, trembling. He was right there. Dr. Harris frowned. "You need rest. You're hallucinating from the stress." But Emma knew what she saw. The voice still echoed in her head. "You shouldn't have trusted him." That night, as she lay in the dark, one thought refused to leave her mind. What if Dr. Harris wasn't the savior she thought he was? Morning came, but the mansion felt darker than ever. Emma hadn't slept. Her eyes stayed open all night, replaying Daniel's words in her mind. "You shouldn't have trusted him." Dr. Harris entered quietly with a tray of food. "You need strength," he said gently. "Eat something." Emma forced a weak smile. "Thank you." But as he turned away, she noticed something, a small silver key hanging from his coat pocket. It wasn't the key to her room. She had never seen it before. When he left, Emma slipped out of bed, her body trembling with effort. She reached into his coat that hung near the door and took the key. Moments later, she found a small locked drawer inside the side cabinet near her bed. The key fit perfectly. Inside were papers, hospital reports, photographs, and a familiar face staring back at her. Her mother. Alive. Emma's breath caught. Her hands shook as she flipped through the files. There were letters too, signed by Dr. Harris and her father. Subject: relocated under medical supervision. Memory suppression recommended. Keep Emma unaware of maternal connection. Her vision blurred. He lied to me, she whispered. They both lied. She picked up another photo, one showing her mother in a hospital bed, weak but smiling. The date on it was from just 2 years ago. Tears filled her eyes. You said she died when I was 10. Just then, the door creaked open. Dr. Harris stood there, watching her, his face unreadable. I told you not to open that, he said quietly. Emma took a step back. You used me. You and my father, you hid my mother. He sighed deeply. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Your father wanted control of your inheritance. He made me fake your mother's death and I. You helped him, she cut in, her voice shaking. And now you want me to trust you again? Dr. Harris stepped forward. Emma, listen to me. Your mother is alive, but she's in danger. Before he could finish, the lights flickered again. Then the TV screen on the wall came to life on its own, showing live footage from the mansion's front gate. A black car had just pulled in. Emma's father stepped out. And he wasn't alone. Beside him was Mark, the man who was supposed to be mourning her. Emma's heart stopped. Dr. Harris turned pale. They know, he whispered. They know you're alive. The mansion gates groaned open as the black car rolled in. The air grew thick, like the house itself knew that trouble had arrived. Emma stood near the curtain, watching through the hidden camera feed. Her heart pounded so loud she thought the machines beside her would give her away. Dr. Harris paced the room, his voice trembling. They weren't supposed to come back yet, not together. Emma's father stepped out of the car first, tall, confident, his face hard like stone. Mark followed close behind, pretending to limp, still wearing his fake mourning face. But this time, there was no need for acting. They had come with a purpose. Inside the mansion, Emma's stepmother welcomed them, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. I thought you'd stay away for a while, she said. Her husband replied coldly, plans have changed. I need to see her body again. Emma froze. Her body? Dr. Harris grabbed his bag. We have to move you now, he whispered. If he goes upstairs and doesn't find you in that coffin. Before he could finish, the front door downstairs slammed open. Her father's voice echoed through the hall. Dr. Harris, he called. We need to talk. Emma hid behind the curtain as the doctor went to meet him. From the camera feed, she watched her father's face twist in suspicion. You've been avoiding my calls, he said. I heard strange stories, that you didn't let anyone touch her coffin. Why? Dr. Harris forced a smile. It was part of her final medical procedure. I had to preserve her body properly. Her father stepped closer, his tone sharp. Or maybe, you're hiding something. Mark smirked from behind him. Let's open the coffin and find out. Emma's blood ran cold. Dr. Harris stammered. No. I mean, it's not time yet. The will must. Enough, her father shouted. Open it. Now. The men marched toward the coffin. The maids whispered. Lily stood in the corner, biting her lip nervously. Emma's pulse raced as she watched from the camera. He'll find out, she whispered. He'll know. Dr. Harris turned to her from the doorway, his voice low but desperate. Emma, if I can't stop them, run. Downstairs, her father's hands gripped the edge of the coffin. He looked around once, then threw the lid open. Empty. Gasps filled the room. Her stepmother dropped her glass. Mark stepped back, pale. Her father's eyes burned with fury. Where is she? He roared. Dr. Harris stood frozen, sweat dripping down his neck. I don't know. Her father grabbed him by the collar. Don't lie to me again, Harris. You helped fake her death. You think I didn't know? Emma's eyes widened. He knew? Everything began to spin. The truth wasn't what she thought it was. This wasn't just betrayal, this was a setup from the very beginning. From her hiding spot, she whispered to herself, trembling. If my father knew about the plan, then who was it really meant to kill? The mansion had never been louder. Shouts echoed through the hall, footsteps thundered across the marble floor. Her father's voice roared like thunder downstairs. "I want every door checked. Every room searched. Find her." Emma pressed herself against the wall in the upstairs hallway, her heart hammering. Dr. Harris had told her to run, but there was nowhere left to go. Then, from her hidden earpiece, his whisper came through. "Emma, the car is ready. Use the back stairway. Go now." She clutched the small tablet showing the camera feed, but something caught her eye. In one of the cameras, her father wasn't looking for her. He was looking at Lily. He pulled her aside, his voice low but harsh. "You were supposed to poison her father's drink that day, not hers." Emma froze. "Her father's drink," she whispered. Lily trembled. I did what Mark told me. He said it was for her." Her father's hand slammed the table. "You fools ruined everything. That poison was meant for me." Emma's knees weakened. The truth hit her like a storm. She was never the real target. Her father was. Mark had planned to kill him, to take the inheritance through Emma after the wedding. But Lily mixed up the glasses. And Emma drank the poison meant for her father. Tears filled her eyes as her father shouted below. "You idiots killed the wrong person." In that moment, everything made sense. The fake affection, the forced smiles, the way Mark rushed the wedding. It was all a trap, just not hers. Dr. Harris's voice came through again, urgent. "Emma, do you understand now? Mark never wanted to marry you, he wanted your father dead. That's why he teamed up with Lily. Your father found out, and that's why he helped me fake your death, to save himself, not you." Emma's hand shook as she whispered, "Then why keep me alive?" The doctor hesitated. "Because, your mother. She begged me. She said if anything happened, I must protect you." Emma gasped. "You said my mother's alive. Where is she?" Before he could answer, the sound of breaking glass exploded downstairs. Her father shouted, "Don't let her escape. She knows too much." Dr. Harris's voice cracked through the speaker. "They're coming for you, Emma. You have to leave now." Emma grabbed her coat and ran down the narrow hallway, the sound of footsteps closing in behind her. As she reached the back stairway, a shadow appeared in front of her, blocking the way. It was Mark. His eyes burned with anger, his voice cold as ice. "You should have stayed dead." The hallway lights flickered, painting Mark's face in flashes of shadow and rage. Emma froze, her back pressed against the wall. The air between them felt heavy, like death had returned for her again. "You should have stayed dead," he repeated, his voice low, dangerous. Emma's hand trembled, but her eyes didn't leave his. "You tried to kill me once, Mark. Why? Wasn't my love enough for you?" Mark smirked. "Love?" he spat. "You were just the bridge to your father's empire. But your stupid bridesmaid mixed the drinks, and you became the problem." Emma swallowed hard. "Then why come back? Why risk everything?" He took a step closer. "Because the will is useless without your signature. You were supposed to die after the wedding. Now, I'll fix that mistake myself." He raised his gun. Before he could pull the trigger, a voice shouted behind him, "Drop it." It was Dr. Harris, bruised, breathing hard, holding his own gun. Behind him, Emma's father appeared, pale and furious. Mark turned, laughing. "Oh look, the two men who ruined everything." Her father's voice cracked. "You poisoned my daughter. You betrayed us all." Mark sneered. "Don't pretend you're innocent, old man. You planned to kill your own wife and steal her company. You're no better than me." Emma gasped. "My mother, you killed her?" Her father froze, guilt flashing across his face. "I didn't kill her," he said quietly. "But I let it happen. She found out what I'd done, the fake accounts, the stolen money, and she tried to expose me. So I had her locked away." Emma's tears fell. "You destroyed everything for greed." Mark aimed his gun again, shouting, "Enough. Everyone dies tonight." The sound of police sirens echoed from outside. The lights flashed blue through the windows. Mark cursed, spinning toward Emma, but before he could fire, a shot rang out. He staggered back, shock on his face, and collapsed. The gun fell from Emma's mother's trembling hands. She stood in the doorway, alive, thin but fierce, her eyes filled with tears. "Stay away from my daughter," she said softly. Emma ran to her, sobbing. "Mom, you're alive." Her mother held her close. "I never stopped fighting to come back to you." Police stormed the house, arresting Mark and the stepmother. Her father dropped to his knees, covering his face as they led him away. For the first time, the mansion was silent, truly silent. Later that morning, as the sun rose over the garden, Emma stood outside with her mother and Dr. Harris. The pain was still there, but so was peace. Her mother smiled faintly. "You died once, Emma, but now you get to live." Emma took a deep breath. "No," she said quietly. "I died twice, once for love and once for truth. But this time, I'm done dying." In the distance, a familiar voice called her name. It was Noah, her loyal driver, standing beside a car, waiting. She smiled for the first time in forever. This time, she wasn't the bride who died. She was the woman who lived. And as she walked away from the mansion, hand in hand with her mother, the wind carried her final whisper. "Let them remember the bride who died twice, and rose again,